Drivers, start your engines.
Welcome everybody to Multi-League Racing at Indianapolis Motor Speedway this evening. My name is Scott Patton, joined here in the booth with Ken Huber. We are road racing for, I think, the third or fourth time this year. There's quite a few road races on the schedule as it follows the actual NASCAR Cup Series schedule throughout the season here on Monday nights on Multi-League Racing Network. Like I said, my name is Scott Patton. I'm joined with Ken Huber. Ken, how's it going out there?
It's going great, Scott. Hey, and you're right. This is our fourth race here on the road courses, and we've had some surprising road course victors this season, too. I'm actually watching Jeffrey Merck out on the track. He had our first road course win of the season at Circuit of America is in Texas, but since then, Merck has been struggling on the road courses, and Wes Holland is stepping up to the plate there and knocked down a couple of road course wins.
Absolutely. A couple hard charges here. It's been mixed up, but we'll see if we get a new winner tonight. Of course, there's always the threat of Justin Michael with 8 wins on the season. He's always a threat at the road course if you can put a race together here from start to finish. Or if anybody, for that matter, can put a race together from start to finish. Should be interesting who can pace the field and put together some nice consistent laps at this tricky track here at Indianapolis Motor Speedway.
Yeah, it is very tricky, Scott. We also have the new configuration that NASCAR just ran this past weekend. I think they also ran it last year, but they've updated the track. iRacing updated the track this year, so all these drivers got a brand new experience. And I can tell you, there's some hard sections on this track. I tried to get a few practice laps in and was slipping and sliding all over the place. So car control is going to be key out here at a hot track here at Indy tonight.
Yeah, I heard that talking to the guys during practice. Looks like Justin Michael's going in here. Maybe taking some shortcut. I don't know. Maybe that's his trick for a fast lap. But let's see who else we can find. Eric Talent. Let's see where he is on the track and see if we can find him. How he puts down a lap here.
Yeah, as he's entering the backstretch, he's just coming out of that kink. That'd be turns 5 and 6, headed towards turn 7 here. That green and black number 5 machine. Eric Talent trying to show some talent here. I believe he is on one of his hot laps right now, Scott. I don't believe he's put down a time yet.
Correct. It does look like it. And that Gary Yamamoto Ford Mustang looking sharp there. A couple of drivers here. The 70 of Jay, who is that? Jay Hambley? Top of the board.
Oh, yeah, John Hambley. Yeah,
John
so
Hambley.
He's new to the series. Going to be racing with us tonight. He's pretty strong on the road course, and he's on the pole currently, so.
By quite a bit. Look at that. 29, almost a 29.1. 29 flat, rather, I should say, with a 29.092. Michael Milfelt, 8 tenths slower there in second place. So quite the lap by John so far.
Back here watching Eric Talent. Looks like he's coming out of that final turn. Turn 14 headed up on the front stretch there, Scott. See what kind of time Eric Talent brings down. And I'm not showing any scoring there, Scott, so this might be his hot lap
here. Yeah. Let's go on board. Why don't we, with Eric, during the hot lap, we'll see just how tricky this track can be. You can see the steering wheel on the left there as it wheels it through the S's here. Turns 1, 2, and 3, I believe this is. Is that right, going to the backstretch?
Yeah, that's correct, Scott. This is turn 3 going 4 right now. This is 5 and 6. It's kind of a little chicane here. It's kind of hard when you go over the curves here. The car gets really upset, kind of wants to kick around on you if you're not careful. Then you're full throttle until you get up to the bridge here. Then you back it down. We're going to get it woed up. I think it'll probably go to first gear here, make this left-hander. And that's turn 7, and here's turns 8 and 9. So I like to roll through here to keep the momentum up in second gear, but he's keeping it in first, so he's got to be careful getting the throttle down. And then here we're exiting turn 10 here. This is the trickiest part of the track right here. You're going to come off this and up onto the banking, but as soon as you get on the banking, you're going to have to get it woed up. And this is for turns 12. This is turn 12 here. This is very tricky to get the car woed up. It wants to slip and slide around, and this next corner, 13, is very deceiving. Seems like you can open up the wheels sooner than you can, but you have to hold it there. Get gentle back on the grass as we hit, or gas, as we head back down to the front stretch. They got a little wide there, Scott, as you can see. Trying to get that car powered up and see what kind of lap time he pulls down.
Yeah, it looked pretty solid there, maybe until the last corner. Maybe lost some momentum down the front stretch, but Eric Talent puts down a 132.6. Bottom of the board so far, 13th of the guys who have taken laps Justin Michael, top of the board, 28.5. Man, I saw John Hamby put down a second lap with a 28.8. So he's faster his second time around there. We'll see if we can maybe catch Justin Michael. I don't think he's on track right now.
Speaking of Justin Michael, why don't we go over the points really quick? Scott, Justin Michael currently leading the points right now. He's kind of led the season, pretty much all season, from the drop of the green flag at, where was that? Daytona, I guess. We had one week where Wesley Holland, who's in second place, was able to capture that points lead. But currently, Wesley Holland's had a couple of bad races. He finds himself 40 points behind. In third, Christopher Davis, no wins on the season, but having a heck of a season. So Christopher Davis, hats off to our Canadian. Greg Mall out there in fourth, Mr. Clockman. Vernon Margheim, as Scott likes to call him, the fan favorite out there in fifth. He's gained a position up from sixth place last week. Jeffrey Merck lost a position down from fifth into the sixth position. Jack Watts in seventh. Again, another driver with no wins, but having a solid season. He's up one position. Charles Widener has tied Jack Watts for that seventh position. James Hearns, another Canadian out there, is in ninth. Billy Bumgardner in 10th. Brian Bizzle out there in 11th. Rod Minton up a spot in 12th position. Kyle Chadwick has lost a position. He's in 13th. Heath Smith, he's up 2 positions in that 14th position. Josh R. Scott, 15th. James O. Brown wraps up that top 16, the 16 that are going to make the chase currently. Outside looking in, Trent Drum, Michael Melfelt Jr., Christopher Howell, Rob Haynes. All these guys are looking for one of these top 16 spots so they can make the chase.
Sounds good. A lot of big movers there. And as you look at those point standings, those win stickers next to Jeffrey Merck's points there, he's in 6th. That kind of tells the story of his season. Up and down and up and down. I mean, top of the board with 3 wins on the season, but still there's guys like Christopher Davis, Mr. Consistency, that no wins, but sitting comfortably in 3rd place there. So kind of draws a nice picture there.
Yeah, you mentioned Jeffrey Merck in that 60 car there, and I just looked at the board here on the qualifying order, and Jeffrey Merck qualified in 3rd place. And I got to say, for this track, this is probably one of the hardest tracks we're going to do this season. I thought Sonoma might be, but this one definitely, and Jeff Merck's up there in 3rd. So I think Jeffrey's put in the time to get proficient at this track. And like I said, Jeffrey Merck has got that win at COTA this year, so kind of impressive out there. So never count the man out.
Speaking of somebody who can't count out is our boss man, Kim Quick, the league admin, the 21. He's running the 21 car multi-league racing network car here. Did that paint job just for him this week because he wanted to race and he was tired of the Folgers throwback car. So Kim's got a new car, new paint, and looks like he's slow here on the short shoot. Looks like there's not going to be a competitive lap, but right now sitting in 12th with a 32.305.
Yeah, awesome seeing the league owner out there. You know, it's funny, Scott, I went in there to do some practice laps myself. I was in that same car, so I noticed that you must have used the same TV car there, Scott.
It was similar. We moved the sponsors around a little bit because we had to put a number on it for it to be race legal, but he's out there in the 21 car. Jeffrey Merck watching right now in 3rd place, but he is not content with that. He's out there running a 2nd lap. We'll see what kind of time he can put on the board for the 2nd time around. Remember, John Hamby was faster 2nd time around. He's 4/10 off of his pace right now. To the front stretch, to the line, 2nd time around for Jeffrey Merck. We'll see what he does. 29.483 does not look like it's going to improve.
Yeah, but it was a good effort. You know, you can't criticize the man for getting a 3rd place in the 29s right there. So. You know, a lot about road racing is putting the whole package together. There is no caution, so you gotta bring it, and you gotta be careful, and you gotta make it to the end to even have a shot. So
there it is. That wraps up. Clock is down to 0. That wraps up our qualifying session. It was 10 minutes, unusually long because of the long road course here at Indianapolis, but we are gridding up, and let's take a look at our starting grid here. Justin Michael on the pole. No surprise there. Martinsburg, West Virginia's best with a 28.578. John Hamby, welcome to the league there. Awesome run with a 28.8. And Jeffrey Merck in 3rd. Michael Milfeld starting 4th. Greg Mall out in Nebraska with a 1 minute 30 second lap. Christopher Davis, Keith Smith, Charlie Widner starting 8th. Chris Howell starting 9th. And Matt Rodoloso has got a number of races under his belt here at Multi-League Racing with a lot of consistent results. So looking forward to see what Matt can do on the road course.
Yeah, definitely. In 11th, Rod Minton, Mr. Lawn Chairman. Our league administrator is starting in 12th. Jack Watson, that 77 Budweiser machine, that chromium machine, is in 13th. Eric Talent, we covered during the qualifying lap, and that number 5 machine is starting 14th. These are drivers that didn't take a qualifying lap, but let me go through them here. So hang on there, Scott. We got Scott Greenwood in 15th, Trent Drum in 16th. Wesley Holland surprisingly did not take a qualifying lap. He was running a 129 in practice, so he was fast, but he had some struggles in qualifying apparently, and he's going to start in 18th. Billy Bumgarner starts in actually 18th. Wesley Holland starts in 17th. James Hearns will start 19th, and James 00 Brown will take that 20th position.
And the last row in the field, Vernon Margheim and David Schreck, who also did not take a lap. That rounds out our 22-car field here at Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Excited for this one once it does take green. No cautions tonight, so kind of a unique format, running 32 laps, I believe it is. And
yeah, that's correct there, Scott. 32 laps.
Fuel mileage, I'm hearing from the guys, is about 16 to 17 laps. So if you count the pace lap, it's going to burn some fuel, obviously. It could get interesting if guys cannot make it to lap 16, the completion of 16. Should be interesting to watch who can make that stop there.
Yeah, the other interesting thing about now that we're back at the road course races, Scott, is the tire wear. So in the previous road course races, we've seen guys go the whole race without tires. So I'm suspecting we might see that again tonight. I don't know how these tires are going to wear out here, but we're looking at how about a weather report? So it looks like we're clearing 77, so we're a little bit cooler than what we have been in the past, with a track temperature of 103. So a fairly decent, moderate temperature out there. So hopefully these guys get some grip and we have a nice, clean race out there.
Should be a good one. I'm going to introduce what I call the Vern Cam. Vernon Margheim was at Indianapolis for the road course to watch the Cup race on Sunday. I think he was there all weekend watching the trucks and the Indy cars, and he was sitting on this little knoll in turn 1. So here at Multi-League Racing Network, we threw a camera up there, and we're going to call it the Vern Cam tonight.
As these guys pace themselves, you know, Scott, I don't know if you watched the live NASCAR race yesterday. It was quite intense at turn 1 with the whole group of cars headed towards turn 1. It's a huge braking zone, the biggest one on the track. And this first start of the race is probably going to be the most nerve-wracking.
Yeah, I agree. That's generally where you want to pick up the most spots is on a restart. But we got to remember here that we only get one shot at it. So I don't know if it's going to be more intense or less intense because of that. But we will find out when we get to turn 1 next time around. Lights are out on the pace car. Half a lap more to go here. What do you think of that 70 paint scheme, Ken? Maybe we need to get John a sponsor. What do you think? Purple and white?
Yeah, we were talking about that tonight. He said he was going for, I don't know, the Trojan or the Depends, I think is what he's saying. Sponsor is what he's But yeah, that purple and white car, he's taking some purple goodness away from that 78 machine of James Hearns. Having another purple car out there.
That's true. Wesley Holland, another good story here. Wesley Holland did not complete a successful lap in qualifying. He made a couple attempts at it, but couldn't quite pull it off. So starting towards the back here, should be interesting to see if he can move his way to the front and be competitive for that win later on in the race.
Yeah, it'll definitely be interesting watching. Vernon Margheim's another one that didn't take a qualifying lap. Usually finds himself in the top 5 or so. You know, some of these guys are going to have their work cut out for them tonight trying to get to the front here. I do like the fact that we got Justin Michael, Jeffrey Merck, Michael Melfelt Jr. up there. We haven't talked about him yet tonight, but Michael Melfelt Jr., no stranger to road course racing. He's starting in that fourth position, I should say. As we're getting ready to come onto the front stretch here, I'll pass it off to you for the green flag there, Scott.
There we go, off that corner number 12 to the front stretch. There you see the grid markings. Pace car is off. Front stretch is clear. 32 laps at Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Thanks for watching here on Multi-League Racing Network. Green flag is out. We are racing down the front stretch here.
Justin Michael with the huge run out there, so we'll see how these guys get into the braking zone. This is probably going to be the most critical braking zone of the night on this first lap. Everybody getting it wound up. It looks like everybody's using quite a bit of patience here. 60 Michael Melfelt Jr. and the 60 of Jeffrey Merck. Oh, and Jeff Mall goes around there in turn 1.
Oh, Greg Mall, tough break for the Gosh.
The Miller unfortunate car.
The Miller unfortunate car. I like that.
Yeah, he's going to have his work cut out. I don't believe he's got any damage, but he's now at the tail end of the longest line there without actually getting the flag for it.
He's certainly got some work to do, and John Hamby is keeping up here. Looks like his name is Johnny Hamby. Does he go by Johnny or John, Ken?
I call him both John and Johnny. He hasn't corrected me yet. He's been around the league for a few weeks now, a month or so. He races with us in the GT3 series, and then more recently the Nissan series on Sunday nights, which just ended this week. But he's very strong on the road courses, so Justin Michael will have to keep an eye on that mirror.
All right, sounds good. We're on board right now with John. This really tricky, probably arguably the most tricky corner section of this course so far. Left-hander, super slow. And the right-hander, you want to try and get as much momentum as you can, but you got to be careful with that throttle, not to get it loose or not to overrun it into the grass there and get the run all the way down the front stretch. As we look at our speed cam tonight, down the front stretch.
Yeah, and it's very easy on the exit to get up and tag that wall too, because you're trying to open up the wheel at the same time the car's trying to step out on you. It's very easy to tag that wall.
Looked like Mark grabbed a whole footload of brake there in turn one. He drove that thing deep in there. He is wheeling that 60 machine around.
Doing a good job though so far. So Jeffrey Merck up on that wheel tonight. Not normally what I'd consider a top road course racer, but this year he's showing that you put in the time, he can hold his own on the road course.
Another one's put in plenty of time. Michael Milfeld here. I snuck into one of the multi-league practice sessions. I think Kim put up at least 2 sessions leading up to this race on both, I think Saturday, Sunday, and tonight. Early sessions for these guys to get some time under the belt. Michael Milfeld was putting in a ton of laps, and when I snuck in there, he was on top of the board. So, nice job, Mike. Way to hang in there, top 3 right now, or top 4 rather, and we'll see what we can do the rest of the race here.
Yeah, and rounding out the top 5 is that 38 Wendy's machine. Christopher Davis hails from Canada. He's always running up front on these road course deals. Had some struggles. He's 3rd in points right now, but had some struggles putting together a win so far this year. But, if he keeps this type of pressure up, that win will come up eventually for him.
I have a note that Christopher Howell may have had an issue here. This is a replay. We're going to see what happens through the kink here, going to the backstretch. Left turn. Gets it locked up into the grass. Keeps it going the right direction anyway. Nice job keeping the car under control and no damage.
Yep, and he didn't lose too many positions. It looked like he lost about 4 positions there, Scott, on that bout, but saved the car, so he's still in this thing. Back up front, Johnny Hamby starting to put some pressure on that 87 machine of Justin Michael, that Beretta machine, that finely painted, patented paints Toyota Camry. But Justin Michael is under a lot of pressure right now as they head down the backstretch here to good old turn 7.
This has got to be stressful for Justin. I'm not sure he knows his race with John Hamby all that much, so he may have thought he had somewhat of an easy walk today, getting 2 seconds over Jeffrey Mark, knowing that Wes Holland is starting in the back of the field. But here's John putting pressure on, and good for him. See if he's got something for Justin here.
Well, what Johnny mentioned to me tonight was that he was going to be the Boris Said of this race. He didn't want to interrupt. He didn't want to interfere. But Boris Said's story, right? Or why he said he was Boris Said.
No, I don't think I know that one.
Well, because Boris Said only showed up for the road course races. In NASCAR for the most part, he'd just show up for Watkins Glen or Sonoma. And
oh yeah, I do know. Yeah, so you're really into Boris Said. Yes, I do know that he was like a road course ringer, as they say. Yeah, he would just show up, yes, for the road races. So, nice job here so far. Kind of cutting his teeth here on the NASCAR side of things. 0.6 off the pace of Justin Michael.
Yeah, kind of gave up some time on that tricky part of the track there at 12, 13, and 14, but he's gained it back now on the exit of 1 and going into 2 there. Going back, see what other battles we have on the track.
I'm going to look at a quick replay here. Looks like Vernon Margai may have had some issues. This is a replay. 33 machine, I believe that's turn 1 and 2 out into the grass. No damage. Nice job, everyone.
I've got a heck of a battle here shaping up here, Scott. The 41 machine of Wes Holland, 2nd in points, didn't take a qualifying lap or had an issue during qualifying. He's up here in the top 10 right now, just behind Matt Rodoloso, trying to get by a group of a couple other cars there, Rod Minton and Charles Widener, who's also having a great night. But Wes Holland is charging his way up front.
Up to 10th, man. Started in 17th, up 7 spots. It's, I believe, our biggest mover of the race forward. So, got 3 more spots. He's eyeballing in front of him. Looks to the inside, thinks better of it.
Still looking, and you know the thing about without having any cautions on this race, Scott, you know time is limited and you want to get by these guys as quick as possible, but at the same time you also don't want to ruin your race. As he locks up the brakes there, going into 12, goes over the curb, gets that pass made, now sets his sight on Rod Minton in that 92 machine.
Man, you're right. It kind of changes the strategy a bit when you look at a race like this. Wesley Holland right now, if you look at the scoreboard in 9th, he picked up that spot, but he's 15 seconds off the lead of Justin Michael. You almost got to look at that time more so than the actual positions that are in front of him, right? Because knowing that it's green flag the whole way, he still has to figure out how to make up 15 seconds to get to Justin.
Yeah, and that's a lot of time, but I think I've pretty much made up that time before. I think he can do it.
I know you've made up that time on me before.
Oh, that was by pure luck, though. Yeah. Wes Holland is having a decent night, kind of trying to find a way around these guys. Like you said, Scott, without having the caution, the big thing is put together the whole package, race the track and not the opponents is kind of the way I always say when you're road course racing. It's just sometimes you got guys in front of you and you're hoping they're going to let you by if you're faster, but that's not always the case.
Looking on the backside right now, Rod Minton, that 92 car. Wesley Holland does an awesome job in the brake zone there. Picks up a few car links more in that right-hander. All over, putting the pressure on you.
Yeah, it'd be interesting. I think Wes Holland is using that tricky part of the track going into 12 to make his passes. So he's got the run up on the 92. And let's see if he shoots to the inside like he did with the previous opponent, trying to make the pass here on Rod Minton. No, he doesn't. Stays to the outside.
Cockpit view with Wes. Bad Apple Racing. Here's the big run to the front stretch. Keep it low. Watch that gas pedal. Then here we go. Let's go speed cam down the front.
The 95 just ahead of him had a little bit of a slip up there. Kind of stacked him up a little bit. They got stretched back out. Charles Widener having a decent day up there in that 7th position, trying to hold on to it. And while we were watching that battle, apparently we lost a battle there, Scott. The 38 machine has slipped back to the 6th position. Heath Smith in that 1 machine out there running in that top 5 spot. So Heath Smith up a couple of spots, kind of separated himself now and looking to see if he can run down Michael Melfeld Jr., who's currently in 4th.
Yeah, he's got about an 8-second gap to make up. Not impossible, certainly, but nice job by Heath up here. Also with a new paint scheme. Let's show that one off, because why not? Chris Durham show number 1. Also wanted the Multi-League Racing Network on there, so we've got 2 Multi-League Racing Network cars on the track tonight.
That's awesome. You got to love them shouting us out there, Scott. Back up front, Johnny Hamby still trying to apply pressure on Justin Michael here. We are 6 laps in, 7 laps next time they cross the line, so about halfway to a pit stop right now. Johnny Hamby in that 70 machine, which needs a sponsor. So if there's a Depend sponsor out there, he's looking for that Trojan sponsor.
Here's the Vern cam in turn number 1 behind the fence. Look at those brake rotors glowing. Hard on the brakes in turn 1, makes up a couple car lengths. Jeffrey Mark back here in 3rd. I'm a little surprised. He lost some ground a few laps ago, a second or 2, but has kind of stayed solid, holding that 3 seconds behind. So nice job by him not to overdrive and get too anxious too early in this race, knowing it is a very long race. Jumps the curb there.
Yes, Scott, I'm back here in the 13th position. I'm looking at our Canadian out there in the 78 machine, James Hearns, applying pressure on Eric Talent. James Hearns is up 5 positions so far on the night, trying to move his way forward, trying to get by that green and black 5 machine as we speak.
Looking at the scoreboard, Wesley Holland just behind these, or just in front of these guys a bit. Maybe lost some ground, lost a spot or 2, down to 10th right now.
Yeah, it's very easy to make a mistake here, as we've seen drivers already make these mistakes here tonight. As Wesley Holland is moved back up to him, he's behind Rod Minton there on the trickiest part of the track, or what I consider the trickiest part of the track, headed towards turn 12 here. It's so easy to overdrive all three of these corners if you're not careful. Just ahead of him, we got a battle. Looks like Charles Widener and the 309 machine of Matt Rodoloso trying to get by that 95 machine. The 95 has been holding tough, kind of not letting anybody get by. So Charles Widener having a really good night.
On board with Matt right now down the front stretch. Hard braking into turn 1 coming up. There it is. Looks to the inside, tries not to overdrive it.
And give that position, give that position to the 309 machine finally. That took quite a few laps there.
Up front, looks like we missed a battle here. Side by side, Johnny Hamley is side by side with Justin Michael for the lead.
Oh, the 95 machine just got in the back of the 309. So that happened right after the pass, Scott. Sorry for interrupting. I was still on the action back there. Charles Widener, 309 made the pass, but then he got a little loose, got woed up, and then Charlie got in the back of him. Eric Talent, and it looks like Eric Talent's off the track at the same time. So a couple of guys starting to struggle out there as these tires are heated up.
Here's the replay right here. Ooh, tough break.
Yeah, you can see him lock up that right front, and he had to get woed up, and Charles Widener was already in the gas and just got in the back of him there.
Justin Michael is still all over the back bumper of Johnny up here. Says you may get the pass done, but you're not going to get away from me. It's too easy.
Yeah, I'm upset that I missed that pass. New leader, Johnny Hamby. So Justin Michael's probably like, okay, who the heck is this guy?
Nothing more frustrating than somebody passing you for the lead with a super basic paint job. I love it.
Yeah, we're gonna have to talk to the. We definitely need to get him a sponsor. I was calling him the collector because it Depends and Trojan stuff. He like to collect stuff. So
Wesley Holland just ahead over drove turn 1. So does Rod Minton. Guys still side by side, just battling it out. Charlie Winter says thank you. I'll take that position back. But just ahead of these guys, Wesley Holland as well did the same thing.
Yeah, Rod Minton just locked up that tire. Couldn't quite get it done. The 88 machine just behind him of Christopher Howell, who had that incident like on lap 1, trying to charge his way back up front. On the inside of Rod Minton in that 92 machine right now as they go into turn 7. And then they'll just mosey on through the S's here. This is a quite tight S's here. You don't want to throttle the car up too much. You can kind of cut the curb here before you get on a more straight section of the track, but it's very difficult to get on the gas here as they head towards the tricky part, turn 12.
And for some more battles, James Hearns looking to hold on to this train back here. Wesley Holland looks like he did make his way around all those cars, up into 6th spot right now, trying to break into the top 5, starting in 17th.
Back here, oh, there's a car off the track. It looks like it's a car that was lapped down, so it doesn't matter. As a couple of leaders were going by, the 60 car of Jeffrey Merck out there in 3rd. Michael Melfelt Jr. just gets off in the grass there, trying to get a pass down on Jeffrey Merck, but Michael Melfelt Jr. in that 155 Federated Auto Parts machine, putting all kinds of pressure on the 60 of Jeffrey Merck right now.
Yeah, like I said, Michael Melfelt put in some time this week, and it's paying off here with a solid top 5 so far.
Gene Daly out in the chat is saying, get her done. I guess that's to maybe one of the cranky guys.
Probably, I gotta assume. I don't see many cranky guys out here. There's nobody in the chat, and let me look down the list here. I'm not seeing anybody in. I guess Scott Greenwood. Let's highlight him for a little bit. We don't see him much, but he's also from New Hampshire, just like I am up here. He's a little bit further north than I am, but he usually comes out for these road races, so awesome to see him out here.
Yeah, struggling a little bit tonight for Scott. So started in 15th, now finds himself in 18th. He's a lap down currently, but The car still looks nice and clean, so he's still getting it done at the moment. Got Jason Hughes in the chat too, so I don't see Jason Hughes driving. Normally Jason Hughes is one of those guys that chats and drives at the same time, but it looks like Jason Hughes is saying go to the 70 car out there, which we talked about earlier, Scott. And that is the 70 of John Hamby.
Yeah, let's look back here. Robert Mattis, I got to highlight that Robert's in that Red Bull car, white car, coming down the back chute there. I think he may have had some issues. Whoa, gets woed up. These guys try to go around. I think Charlie Widener. Man, they went 3 wide there trying to go around the lap car and had a tough break for Charlie Widener and Rod Mitten there.
Back up to 6th position there, Scott. That 41 machine has recovered from some of the incidents he's had earlier. He's now up from 17th in that 6th position, kind of running all by himself at the moment. He is about, I don't know, 8 seconds off Heath Smith, who's running in that last top 5 spot.
Heath Smith now coming up in the lap car of Scott Greenwood. James 00 Brown also is a lap car in front of him.
Lead battle still hasn't changed. Still Johnny Hamby up front, Justin Michael following in those tire tracks. Maybe trying to learn something from Johnny, seeing how he's going to get around him for the later stages of this race. And Scott, we're about 2 or 3 laps, I would say, away from the first set of pit stops, so maybe 3 or 4 actually. And I'm going to be very interested on tires if tires are having a factor. What do you have for lap times compared from the start of the race to now?
Well, let's look at, well, why not Johnny Hamby? His best lap is a 29.153. His last time around, 29.4. So roughly 0.3 off the pace from his best lap. Justin Michael, about the same thing. About a second off his pace, 28.8 versus 29.7.
Back there in the 3rd position, that battle is kind of ended for now. Michael Melfelt Jr. falling back a little bit from that 60 machine. It's about a 1/3 of a second or so. Jeffrey Merck having a strong run in that 60 machine, holding on to 3rd right now. Let's see if Michael Melfelt Jr. can run him back down as this race progresses.
Do you want to go back? Looks like Rod Mitten had some issues. We're going to go back for a replay here. He's in that 92 blue car. Locks him up here into turn 1 in the grass. Not necessarily the way you want to make the highlight reel, but we'll throw it in the highlight reel.
Yeah, and then, as I was watching that there, looks like
Wes, I don't mean to interrupt you. Looks like a Wesley Holland, I'm showing may have had some issues here. Let's see what happens. Yeah, gets sideways and stops on the track. No damage though, gets that righted and back on his way.
Oh yeah, just clipped that grass on the left rear there, Scott. That's what sent him around. Well, Wesley Holland can say he's going to have an eventful night tonight.
For sure. Fortunately, doesn't lose, I don't think, any spots. Still in 6th, but 35 seconds down from the leader now.
You know, and that can always happen, Scott. You're running up front, enjoying your race, and then all of a sudden have it ended by just what happened to Wes Holland. Getting one of our leaders could have a tire step out in the grass like that and kind of get sent to the back almost immediately. So just got to stay in it and focus on the track. And like I said, not your opponents, and probably pull out a good finish here. Back up front, Johnny Hambley still holding on. It looks like that 87 machine of Justin Michael starting to put pressure back on Johnny Hamby. So looks like the roles are reversed. I watched that 87 totally sideways on that last turn 14 there.
Yeah, now's the time that he's probably trying to pick it up a little bit if he's got anything left in those tires, knowing that I'm only going to put down about another 2 laps on these tires. So smoke them if you got them. Closes into turn 1 and closes that gap, but can't make a move this time.
So I've been racing Johnny Hamby about every week now, and one of his Achilles heels is pit stops, so it'd be interesting. And you know, you got a veteran out there like Justin Michael when it comes to pit stops.
Yeah.
It'll be an interesting trade-off to see who's got the edge on pit stops. And next time by will be lap 15, so Looking at about a lap and a half before these guys are go. Ooh, Johnny Hamby locks up that left front in turn 7, loses that position to Justin Michael. So Justin Michael back up front as they go through the S's.
Great move, great heads up driving by Justin not to get in the way of them and move around safely and take the lead. Lap 14 on the board. Pole sitter back in the front, Justin Michael.
Yeah, another tough section of the track here, and it's kind of hard, at least for me, when you're out leading there. It seems like the pressure's on. I kind of like where Johnny Hamby is running in second, just following. And hopefully you can put enough pressure to make that 87 make a mistake there. As they're coming up on some lap traffic here, Justin Michael had to check up a little bit there. The guy out there in the lap car was trying to get out of the way. That's the 14 machine.
Robert Mattis.
Robert Mattis, yeah.
Burn cam in turn 1, Justin Michael leading Johnny Hamby. Brake rotor still glowing there. We'll see. We've got pit stops possibly this time by. I think they're going to try to stretch it to next time by. Lap 16, I think they got to comfortably get on the board here.
Yeah, and I noticed Johnny Hamby's car, he's constantly locking up the front tires right now. So looks like he's kind of struggling maybe with the bias, or he might have cooked off those right fronts and really struggling to get the car woed up in these hard braking zones.
Jeffrey Mark back here in third, not losing any time for sure. 4.2 seconds. It was as big as 5 seconds, so way to stay in the fight there, Mark. Not overdrive it, and hopefully I didn't jinx you there, but oh boy.
Oh no, you didn't do it, Scott, did you?
Oh yeah,
I see it. I see it. Oh, Michael Melfelt wasn't close enough to take advantage, though, so Michael Melfelt back there running that 4th position. Well, let's go back up to the leaders here, Scott, and see if they head to pit lane here, as we're at the halfway point. So I'm going to be interested to see what goes on as they enter turn 12 here into 13. And pit entry is right there, and they both passed pit lane, so they're going to go around at least one more time. Now they're coming up on the 9 car. That's David Schreck in that Attell machine, that blue and white. So the leader's got some more lap traffic as they head towards this braking zone. The 9 car lets the leader by there, checks up there, and both the front 2 are going to get by cleanly.
Find some good battles back in the pack here. Let's search a little bit. Matt Rodoloso maybe trying to close in the gap on Charles Widener in 10th. All these guys, these 4 cars here, are all battling for position.
Yeah, I'm back here looking for some battles myself here, Scott, and everybody's pretty much got a single filed out here. Got Eric Talent, but he's coming up on the lap car of the 00 of James Brown there. So Eric Talent almost drives it off there in the grass. Eric Talent currently running in 14th, started in 14th. He was also our ride around Eric Talent on the pit lane, as I call that. So he's one of the first cars to hit pit lane.
Let's watch the leaders this time by, coming into 12, 13, 14, and see if they make a pit stop this time. I think John Hamby is kind of paced himself behind, taking it easy, not being right up on his bumper. And they both to pit road. Here we go. This should be exciting.
Let's see if Johnny's done some practice with his pit stops here. So, like I said, he's up there with one of the veteran oval guys that pretty much knows how to get pit stops done. These cars, as you know, Scott, are incredibly hard to stop on pit lane. For whatever reason, the slower you're going, the more difficult it is to get the car woed up. So yeah, it's really hard to judge your pit stall entrance.
Such a long pit road, too. This thing goes forever. Top 4 at least are on pit road. We'll see if Heath Smith, I think, is also on pit road. They're both off of pit road.
So no tires for, I don't see any tires going up on the 87 or the 70. They're both headed out. Johnny Hamby basically comes out the same way he went in, right behind Justin Michael. Might have lost a 10th or 2, but not much.
There's the battle. Like I said, no tires for either one of those guys. Yeah, probably lost, well, it looks like 3 seconds right now, so probably lost about 2 seconds on that pit stop for Johnny. bunch of cars on pit road, or coming off pit road, I should say. There goes Heath Smith. Christopher Howell coming into pit road. Wesley Holland working his way out. Looks like Matt Rodoloso's in. Christopher Davis, Charlie Widner.
Yeah, I see some cars out there taking tires. Christopher Davis not taking tires. Everybody behind him is taking tires, so. Watching Wes Holland head into turn 1 after his pit exit. He's going to fall in behind Vernon Margheim in that 33 machine. We've got the burn cam out.
Yeah, I feel like we got to put the burn cam on Vern, right? We'll do that next time by.
Yeah. Wes Holland going by the 33 machine now. I don't know if that's for position. My timing and scoring hasn't caught up yet, but I believe it is.
Yep. Going up on the lap car of James 00 Brown and the 00 car there. Nice job getting around.
Since we're focused on the 00 car, he is starting a new series starting on Sunday nights. I believe this coming Sunday will be in the old Gen 6 car. An old little bit of a throwback from last season's Cup car, and he's going to run that on Sunday nights.
Like Wes Holland just in front of Vern, locked it up there, coming into 12. And Vern's down pit road, so maybe we won't get the Vern cam this time, but that's kind of interesting that, man, he's 48 seconds off the lead and he's coming to pit road. Is that, could he maybe gotten black flagged? He's already made one stop, I believe.
Possible, yeah, I don't really know. So, well, if he would get a top 3, we might be able to talk to him after the race.
No, I take that back. He has not made a pit stop yet, according to my timing and scoring, so this could be his first stop of the night.
Yeah, so the 33 machine is having some struggles out here in Indy tonight.
Look who's not struggling is Johnny, closing that gap from 4 seconds back down to a half a tenth here, or half a second rather, I should say.
And I bet you Justin Michael has noticed that, taken good note of that, how much Johnny Hamby was able to run him back down. So putting some pressure on the 87 machine. You know what, Scott? You know what we haven't done tonight, right?
Crank it up?
Yeah, I think it might be a good time for a crank it up.
I actually got a highlight in the reel here from the camera crews telling me that Justin Michael may have had an incident. We'll take a look at this real quick. Down the backstretch, cooks the brakes into the grass. That is for sure what ate up the 4 seconds.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
All
And
right.
it does look like Justin Michael has opened it up maybe just a hair since then now on Johnny Hamby.
Here we go. Crank it up. Enjoy this one, folks. We'll be back in a couple minutes here. Enjoy the action. we are back now after that crank it up session. The battle for the lead is heating up still. Johnny Hamby putting the pressure on Justin Michael, just 4/10 back, waiting for another mistake here down the backstretch. This is where the mistake happened the first time from the 87 Toyota. Let's see if we can hold on to it this time by.
Yeah, as these tires get more worn there, Scott, more chances for tire lockup. Smoking them tires. See Mr. Depends and Johnny Hamby in that 70 machine. Trying to run down the 87. Another battle on the track was, let's see, that was Rod Minton and Matt Rodoloso side by side. Coming onto the front stretch there, Matt Rodoloso on the outside, up against that wall, trying to get the position on Rod Minton in that blue machine. Looks like Rod Minton backed off a little bit, allowed that 309 to take that position going into turn one. These two guys were battling lap after lap. So during the crank it up, Scott and I were talking about these two. So during that whole time, it took probably 4 laps for that 309 to get by that 92.
Good racing back here. I'm actually looking at some highlights here. Matt Rodoloso may have had an issue on lap 20. That's 2 laps ago. We'll see if we can get a quick replay. This is Matt coming into 12 and 13 of 14, the trickiest part of the track. Locks up the brakes into the grass, no damage. Good runoff area there and gets it situated. That's when he got side by side with Rod Minton, and that was the battle that we just saw when they were on the front stretch there. So nice job by Matt, keeping it under control and not lose too many spots.
Another position that changed, Scott, is that 155 machine of Michael Milfelt Jr. Currently running in third. He'd pretty much been running in fourth behind Jeffrey Merck all night, but during that last set of cautions, that 155 machine found himself in third. I think Jeffrey Merck might have had a little bit of an off track there. Give up that position. Shout out to that 155 Federated Auto Parts machine, having a great run tonight.
Yeah, not only third, but like we were talking about in the crank it up, he was 5, now 6 seconds off the lead. That's still very impressive for somebody who's usually not having that many wins on the season. Still looking for his first on the season, but certainly has put his time in this week at Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Nice job on Michael Milfelt.
Yeah, and I believe we talked to Michael Milfelt Jr. at Road America here this year. He got a top, I think he got second at Road America, and we had the opportunity to talk to him. So no stranger to the road courses. I mentioned at the top of the race, Michael Milfelt Jr. having a solid run again tonight.
Up front, back up front, the battle continues. Johnny looks to the inside, maybe just try to distract Justin Michael a little bit, but
get him looking into those mirrors. You know, that's what Johnny has to do, is put all kinds of pressure, get that 70 machine all over the back door of that 87. Try to get Justin Michael driving with his mirrors, and oh, there you go. Justin Michael locks up the brakes there. 70 had to check up, didn't have an opportunity to pass. It's not really a good passing zone, so good heads up driving there by that 70.
Matt Rodoloso again maybe having issues here. This is down the backstretch, another replay. And one car locks up the brakes, and he locks up the brakes as well right after into the grass on the back chute.
I was just watching there, Scott. I'm trying to figure out, oh yeah, there was another car there too where Matt Rodoloso had to get around one of the lap cars who locked it up. It looks like it's 8 machine of Billy Bumgarner. Kind of struggling tonight. He's out there in, looks like the 21st position in that 8 machine, so.
Jeff Merck, 9 seconds now off the lead. Back here in 4th.
Well, we're about to have some serious action up front, Scott. The 2 leaders are approaching a lot of traffic, about 4 or 5 cars. With Johnny Hamby right on that in that 87's tire tracks, you're going to see how they're going to get around the 3 lap cars that are just ahead of them. Looks like it's going to be Jack Watt, Scott Greenwood, and Greg Mall, who had that incident on lap 1. Greg Mall, who qualified, I believe it was in 4th or 3rd, kind of lost it going into turn 1, or was helped. Kind of finds himself mired all the way back with these other lap cars as well.
Yeah, should get interesting here real quick on the second half of this course as he approaches Scott Greenwood. He stays to the left. Remember, that's where Charlie Widner and Rod Minton had their incident with the lap car of Robert Mattis earlier in the race. Almost the same situation there. Justin Michael thinks better of it, but he's got to be cautious of his mirror too as Johnny puts the pressure on. for the lead here is going to want to take advantage, I'm sure, of any mistakes up front.
Yeah, and there's a bunch of cars up here that definitely could factor into this. It looks like both the leaders are going to get by going into turn 12 here. And then their next victim is going to be, looks like the Miller Unfortunate Machine, that 7 of Greg Mall. Greg Mall's got a single win on the season, struggling here tonight. One at Martinsville, won the clock that Jeffrey Merck provided. Very nice of Jeffrey Merck to do that. Provided a little miniature grandfather clock, and Greg Mall was able to take that. They're coming up on Jack Watts at 77 Miller Machine as they go into turn 1. Still, this has got to be nerve-wracking for Justin Michael. What do you think, Scott?
Absolutely. Looking at both the front and the rear view.
Oh, Greg Mall goes off the track just in front of him. 77 lets both of them by, so both of them get by the next car. It looks like the 8 car of Billy Bumgarner.
We saw down the front stretch last time by. There's a decent amount of cars. There's only 3 cars in that shop, but there were a few more last time by. And these guys got to work around. The 8 car coming this time lets them by on the inside, but kind of squeezes that entry there, which is going to lose time for Justin Michael. Johnny Hamby got a nice clean entry into that corner. Probably picked up a couple hundreds anyway.
Yeah, it looks like Johnny Hamby's trying to find a line to get through this track faster, because looks like both these guys are pretty equal at the moment, and I think it's a matter of searching around, trying to find a different line to pick up that extra little bit of something to get ahead of that 87 machine. Coming up on another lap car, I believe that's the 00 James O.O. Brown.
Yes.
Going to take him on the outside there. That allowed that 70 to really close in, coming on the front stretch. It's like I thought the 70 was going to look to the inside there, doing a little bit of dodge draft in here. Enter turn 1 nice and clean. 70 machine back to just holding that single bit of distance right there on the back, though.
We're down to 7 to go here, so I know it's a long way around this road course. Oh, it locks them up into that corner there as they approach the backstretch after that short chute coming up, but nice job getting on the brakes there by Johnny and not getting the back of Justin Michael.
Yeah, I think what Johnny's seen, I think he thought Justin Michael was going wide, just overdrove the corner, and he stuck it in there and then realized that Justin still had enough traction to keep it down low, and Johnny ended up locking up the brakes there. They go through the S's, nose to tail. Johnny gets a little sideways there on that second S. Coming here on the, looks like, what is this, turn, I always forget, turn 11. Headed to the dastardly turn 12.
Man, great battle up front here. This should be, what, 11? And 11's a left-hander and 12 is a right-hander? Is that right, Ken?
Yeah, the 13, yeah. 12 is the
big
right-hander.
run on the front stretch here. Gets the draft, like we're Talladega drafting here. Justin Michael jumps to the inside to block any move. See what Johnny can do here in turn 1. Hard on the brakes. Great job keeping that under control. Roll the center of the corner. Can't quite get to his bumper. This is where he locked up the brakes, where Justin Michael made a small mistake last time by.
Yeah, there, Johnny just locked up the brake there in the same position there. I think they're using 2 different braking zones, and might be some of the issue there, Scott. Great battle. I'm kind of going through the rest of the field, and this is kind of the best battle on the track right now. There's a further distance battle between Christopher Howell and Christopher Davis, but they're about a second apart from each other. But
let's do
top 2.
Let's do Vern from the Vern cam. There he is in turn 1. Locking him up, overdriving a little bit. Kim Quick gets to his inside and makes that pass there.
So we got Vern watching himself get passed.
You got Vern on the Vern cam getting passed.
By Kim Quick.
Still up front to the front straightaway. Oh no. They're on the between NASCAR 1 and 2
turn
there.
12 right now.
Yeah.
Justin Michael just locked up that right front. Hamby's right there. This is where Hamby's been strong on the exit coming out on the front stretch here, turn 14. Let's see if he can run him down. It looks like Justin might get hooked up here a little bit better this time.
If you're going to be fast on some part of the course, I would imagine the last portion there is where you'd want to be quicker, because that's where the start-finish line comes. 5 to go this time by.
Yeah, I was just going to say 5 to go. Johnny Hamby's going to have to really start putting some pressure on, because Justin Michael's been doing a great job kind of ignoring Johnny in his rearview mirror there, kind of holding on to the lead. Johnny had it there for a little bit there, but now is in second place. Can't find a way by that 87 machine. And I think Justin knows that if that 70 gets by him, that race might be over for him. Very treacherous here to make passes, especially both these drivers are probably driving these cars for all they're worth. Both running qualifying laps. Kind of found every little inch of the setup that they can get out of it. And we do run fixed setups in this series, so they both got the same setup, and trying to find a way around each other is kind of easier said than done.
Yeah, looking back in the pack here, Christopher Howell, half a second off of the back bumper of Christopher Davis. This battle's for 7th and 8th spot right here.
Yeah, Christopher Howell now takes a peek on the inside going into turn 1. Not enough there. Christopher Davis outbreaks him going into turn 1. They're kind of holding the distance right now.
Trying to look for any other battles on the track, but everything's fairly quiet. Matt Rondeloso, second and a half off the bumper of Rod Minton for 10th.
Jeffrey Merck has been slowly running down Michael Melfeld Jr. in that 155 machine, but Michael's still holding strong in that third position. Jeffrey Merck has actually closed back in right behind him now, so Michael Melfeld seems to be struggling here in the closing laps of this race. Jeffrey wants that podium spot.
That he does. That 22 a day Toyota Camry by Jeffrey Merck. It's drawn attention for military veterans. Unfortunately, we lose an average of 22, both active and veterans, to suicide, unfortunately, every day. So draw some attention to that. Mark's always looking out for our military, our fellow brothers, and appreciate that paint job. Also carrying the title sponsor, Stone River Outfitters, on the side of that Toyota Camry there. Looking all over the back bumper of Vernon here.
Mike Milfeld Jr., yeah, he's on the inside there. Looks like he's going to get this position right here. Mike lets him by wisely. Put Jeffrey Merck back in that third position here. Yeah, we just can't let Jeffrey get in his own head here in the closing laps. He might be able to pull out the top 3.
I was just going to say that. It tends to, Jeffrey Merck gets excited when he makes a pass, and the next thing you know, especially on a very technical course like this, making more mistakes, and he tends to let that position slip by again. So back up front, down the front stretch into turn 1. John Hamby driving deep in there, locks him up, putting the pressure on here.
Yeah, we got another batch of lap cars that these guys are going to be approaching. So first car up is going to be the 78 machine of James Hearns, who's trying to stay on the lead lap, I believe it is. Or no, he's a lap down. I think I'm showing it be 2 laps down.
Hearns is 1 lap down now. Yeah, this would be 2 laps when he goes lap down.
So yeah, they got all kinds of lap traffic again coming up in front of them. I have a feeling, though, this close to the end of the race, most of these guys should let them by. But, you know, that's another thing that's easier said than done. You're in the middle of a corner, you have the leaders coming up on you, and it's kind of like hard to get out of the way sometimes, especially on a track that's so difficult to get around. Got a couple people in the chat rooting for that 70 car. Well, the 70 car is still there. Just about 0.3 of a second behind that 87 machine of Justin Michael. Going to have 2 laps to go this time by Scott, and just as they're coming up on a whole pack of lap cars here.
Oh yeah, pressure's on this time. We'll see what kind of run Johnny can get off the last corner here. Corner number 14 coming up to the right. This is where he's been strong most of the time, trying to get a big draft run on Justin Michael. That lap car may play a role here coming into turn number 1 after this long straightaway.
The 78 machine lets the 2 leaders by. They head down the front stretch going into turn 1. Johnny Hamby, 2 laps to go. Can he run down that 87 machine? That 87 machine's been solid all night.
Closed it in that time. I think that was what he was trying to do last time. Just went slightly over that line. Locked it up the previous lap, and that lap there, Johnny nailed that corner entry in turn number 1, closed another car length or 2 on Justin.
They head through the little kink here. Both cars up on the white on the concrete portion of the track. Head towards the bridge. Turn 7. 9 car gets out of the way for him. Lets the leaders by. See if Johnny can run him down a little bit further in turn 7 here. They head through the S's. They're going to have another lap car. Looks like the 309 car, perhaps. That'd be Matt Rodoloso. And Matt is going to let him by.
Man, Johnny's got some work to do on this last lap here. In front of him is going to be Rod Mitten and Charles Widner in that blue car, and the red Crossman car of Charles Widner. The next 2 lap cars coming up to play here.
Well, Scott, we got about 1 lap to go. Justin Michael has been strong on the road courses all year, but has failed to complete one. Get that win sticker, I believe, on any road course this year, but been strong on all of them. 1 lap to go. He's being chased by Johnny Hamby. Do you think Justin Michael's going to get it done?
Man, with 8 wins on the season, it's kind of hard to vote against Justin Michael, but now is the time when the pressure is on. Especially for a guy that you don't know what kind of moves he's got in his book, because you haven't raced with him much. Johnny Hamby puts the right sides in the grass, gets loose. Pushing all the limits here on the track. Christopher Davis in the grass. Oh, Christopher Howell.
There's a whole bunch of lap cars spinning all around him. Oh, that was crazy.
You watched the highlight where you were talking about the lead draft. I went back and watched a highlight briefly of Christopher Howell and Christopher Davis getting into it. Last lap right at this point at the end of the back short shoot. So there may be some tension between those drivers that they got to each other again. But final lap this time by. Johnny Hamby's got some work to do. This has been the strongest part of the track so far tonight. We'll see what he can do here. Coming to the checkered flag this time by.
Yeah, next corner is that turn 12, kind of a hard braking zone. It can really upset the car if you don't get on the brakes right at the right time here. Let's see what happens here, see if he can get it in here. So he's right there on the back door, headed into turn 13. Hamby's been strong out of 14th on the inside of Justin Michael. Justin Michael is going to outpower him there going into 14, but don't count that 70 out yet. This is one of his strongest corners. They head down towards the front stretch here, looking. Justin Michael is going to take this win, followed by Johnny Hamby. Great run by those 2 drivers there.
Yeah,
Jeffrey Merck coming
third,
up on Jeffrey Merck for 3rd position. Michael Melfelt Jr. grabs 4th. Quite a ways back to Heath Smith there, Scott.
Yeah, Heath Smith coming back up on the racetrack. And Wesley Holland almost breaking the top 5 after his issues early on, as well as starting in the back of the field. Up 11 spots for Wesley.
Watching that number 1 car currently, trying to make his way around through turn 14. He's looking to grab that last top 5 spot.
Nice job by Chris Dunham. Ford Mustang of Heath Smith. Wesley Holland across the line in 6. Let's go back to 7th for there's that battle with Rob Mitten.
Yeah, that wraps out our lead lap cars.
Oh yeah, that is true. There is Justin Michael rolling around here, win number 9 on the season. That's unbelievable. I believe that's more than a third of these races that we've run so far.
How many wins did you have last year, Scott?
Including Phoenix, was 10, so I'm a little bit nervous here that Justin's going to break my record.
Yeah, he might. He's definitely trying to, that's for sure. And we still got the whole chase format to get through, too. Great run by rookie series driver, that 70 machine, Johnny Hamby. We'll look forward to interviewing him shortly. Right now, Justin Michael headed to victory lane to burn down those tires on that Beretta Toyota Camry.
Here it comes down the front stretch. Win number 9 on the season from Bandit Motorsports. There he goes. Running him down in front of Christopher Howell and Christopher Davis. They want a piece of the action too there.
Yeah, they want some of that famous paint on their car, I guess. Some of that Beretta logo.
Anyway, why don't we talk to our race winner? Let's go backwards this time. Let's go talking to Justin Michael while he burns it down. Win number 9 on the season, I believe. Nice job out there, dominating fashion. What do you think about that battle, and how stressful was that racing with somebody like Johnny Hamby, who you don't have much experience racing around here?
I need a shower. I'm sweating right now. I'm hot, man. I tell you, he didn't give an inch. I didn't give an inch, and man, he raced me clean. All the respect for that, man. I love it. It was a good race. It was a really good race.
Yeah, sure. Hopefully Johnny comes around. Looking forward to his interview. Hopefully spends a lot more races with us here in the Cup Series. That was awesome to watch him and put some pressure on you. A couple of mistakes throughout the race. We saw several drivers making mistakes, but one in particular that I want to draw attention to. You had like a 4-second lead on Johnny. Going down the backstretch, the short chute just kind of overbroke, it looks like, or missed the braking point maybe, and smoked it and went off in the grass. And that put Johnny right back on your bumper for the second half of the race, and he pretty much stayed there, putting pressure on the whole time. What was it? Was that just a mishap, mental mishap, or was there a tire issue there?
No, we were passing a lap car, and he came on the radio and told me to pass on the left, which I was about to do, but I looked away for just a split second and missed the 7 sign for my braking point and just blew it. So I tried everything I could to keep it out of the grass. I didn't want any incident points since I wanted that bonus, but it is what it is. So we still got by and still kept him behind us. Yeah,
awesome job here in the 87. Beretta, Toyota Camry, anybody to thank for win number 9 tonight?
Everybody out there watching, hopefully that was a really good race for you guys. You for calling a great race as always, and for painting a great car too. Ken also for calling a good race there, and Ken for putting in a great leg as always.
Yeah. Awesome. Next week we are, where are we next week?
We are at Michigan.
Michigan, high speed. That should be fun in this next gen car. Drafting track. What do you got for Michigan next week?
You should know I love Michigan, so hopefully we'll have something for him, and we'll get another win. Hopefully you'll have to change the decals a little bit to fit some more on there.
I think I remember Justin Michael making comments like, oh, I'd like to fill this whole track in with concrete or make it a fishing pond, and then those tracks he wins. And then, then he says something like, oh, we're going to Michigan, and I feel pretty good about Michigan. I love Michigan. So
which means I'll probably finish 7 laps down.
So I think your competitors are like, oh, great.
I was like, can people give us all the trouble all the time or crap all the time about talking about drivers, and then they run into issues? We saw that a couple examples tonight, even during tonight's race at Indy, but maybe we'll do that next week with Justin. We'll talk about him, and maybe we'll have some issues. But anyway, good luck next week, and we'll talk to you from Michigan. Congrats on win number 9 tonight.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
And there you have it, Justin Michael, your race winner for tonight. What do we got in second? Johnny Hamby. Johnny is... let's see. You want to talk to Johnny again?
Yeah, bring him up.
I don't even know who's left on here.
Hey, Johnny, this is Ken Huber and Scott in the booth. Hey, great job on that second place finish tonight.
Hey, thanks a lot, Ken. Kind of a different night, same song as last night.
Well, I kind of expected you up here in the booth tonight after the race because I know what a good road course racer you are. Were you as sweating as Justin Michael claimed to have been after racing you?
Yes, but I am upstairs and I'm always sweating, so it does me some good.
Yeah, so tell us about what you think about racing these big old heavy stock cars on the road course race, especially at a track like Indy here.
Yeah, I've learned a ton this week because normally I am more of an open wheel, high downforce guy, and I like I told you, I've been trying to get better in the sports cars, and this is even more extreme. So that footwork, attention to detail is something that I'm really enjoying learning more, and I enjoyed watching Justin. And like I said, like last night with you, I enjoyed kind of badgering him, and God, he wouldn't flinch, man. The guy was just solid as a rock.
Yeah, well, you inherited the lead yourself, so you look pretty solid out there tonight. Noticed a couple of small mistakes.
Yeah, I know
Justin Michael locked him up and overcooked turn 1 there and allowed you to run him back down there and make it pretty exciting for Scott and I in the booth, so we really appreciate that. I think this is your first race with the Cup guys. What's your thoughts?
I'm going to run it some more. I need to be running more ovals anyway, and I'm always, like I've told you before, I'm trying to learn new things. I really enjoy the car. I'm certainly enjoying all the guys in here. It's been a lot of fun. So I'm enjoying it.
Well, you said you were going to be the Boris said of tonight's race, and you certainly did that. So congrats on that second place finish. You got anybody you want to thank tonight?
My wife for letting me do this.
All right, good job. Scott, you got anything for Johnny before we let him go?
No, I just want to give you a big congratulations, Johnny. It was nice to see somebody put pressure on Justin Michael at least. awesome battle there, and got side by side with them, and we were hoping for maybe a run down the front stretch, and it looked like Ken was keeping track of our chat here during the race, and it looked like you had a lot of fans already. I think everybody's on the anybody but Justin train, so thanks for filling that gap for us.
He's the road course ace I've got to knock off.
Well, he's the ace, period, right now in this series right now. He's got 8 or 9 wins on the season, so that's who you're chasing right now.
So he's good at oval and road. Yeah, he's exceptionally solid racer, man. Okay, I'll look for Watkins Glen. How about that? I'll start practicing now.
Nice. I like it. We all like it here, and congrats on second place. Looking forward to if you've got more races in your future here, multi-league Cup Series. You're certainly welcome here, and we appreciate you participating. And congrats on second place. We'll see you next week, hopefully from Michigan.
Thanks so much, guys. I'll try to make it.
All right, take care, Johnny.
You too.
Error.
Move him down there. Let's talk to third place, Mr. Jeffrey Merck. Talking about road course racing. What do you got?
0x.
What?
Not one tire
call
even
BS on
touched the
that.
blade of grass.
Where is the results? I call him BS on that.
Nope. I never went all the way around and won, so you can suck it.
Where'd you find the incident hack? I want a piece of that. Send that to me.
Yeah, exactly.
But nonetheless, for the Stone River Outfitters, 22 a day, Toyota Camry, number 60. 3 wins on the season, another third place, solid finish. We were talking early on in the broadcast about the point standings and how that kind of paints the picture of your season so far with 3 wins, but down in 5th place, I think, in points, if I remember right. So it kind of paints the picture of your up and down season, but this was a nice consistent run for you. Talking about the pit strategy, we saw Justin Michael and Johnny both take no tires. Were you just left out on that strategy? Did they not include you, or did you purposely choose to take the 4 tires there halfway?
No, I knew Justin probably wasn't going to take any fuel, but I was kind of doing the math in my head, and I was thinking, well, they're going to have to do like a tank and a quarter. They could probably change just the left sides in that amount of time. So I only took 2 lefts, because I noticed earlier in the weekend practice that the left sides were wearing more than the right by a couple percentage points. So I was like, okay, I'll throw on 2 lefts, take my one can a little more, which did put me back behind Milfelt, but I run him back down, got back on the podium, which I'm really proud of that of myself. I made that mistake in 1, kept my composure, and still ran the guy down I gave the spot to, and got back on the podium. So that's what I'm working on now, is my driving ability, not to let one mistake snowball into 4. Just let that one mistake be one mistake, and then get back in my rhythm and do it that way.
Absolutely. We were watching that battle with you and Michael Milfeld at the end of the closing laps there, and I said the exact same thing, and I'll be the first one to admit that I called it out and said, once you get past guys like that, it tends to get in your head, and then you're excited, and then you end up making a mistake, and tends to give that position back. So awesome job. Hats off to you working on those skills, and looks like it's coming into play here. Holding off for another podium finish here at Indianapolis road course. Again, we saw you obviously with your first win of the season at COTA, Circuit of the Americas down in Austin, Texas. But next week we're going high speed, low drag racing at Michigan. What do you got out there for us?
Yeah, I like Michigan. We'll see what comes of it. The Stone River 22 a day Toyota Camry, it's fast on big tracks, so we'll see what she has. As long as the driver don't water up, should be another good race day for us over here at Bandit Motorsports.
Yeah, should be certainly a strong team. I know you guys are always strong when it comes to drafting tracks such as Michigan for sure. So looking forward to what you got out there. Anybody to thank for tonight's podium?
Yeah, first and foremost, my loving wife inside. I know she's probably watching the
She gave you a shout out there, Merck. So she's out there in the chat. She said, well, she just gave a smiley, so she was happy that you got your podium.
Yeah, she probably watched like the last 2 laps. She hates road courses. I mean, absolutely hates them. But I still love her anyway for letting me do this for my hobby, and she roots for me in the chat and watches. So I love her for that. 22 a day, 22 veterans, average 22 a day veterans committing suicide, taking their own lives, PTSD, and the wounds they bring home with them. So remember, thank your veterans, get them help if they're struggling. Stone River Outfitters, our title sponsor for this series, title sponsor on this car. Check them out, StoneRiverOutfitters.com. The premier Northeast fly tying shop. Big shout out to Matt LaVenture, veteran owned and operated. Check those guys out. Kim Quick, all the admins over here at Multi-League, they do an awesome job. You two guys up in the booth. Mr. Huber out there in Montana, I believe it is.
Yeah.
Scott Patton up there in New Hampshire. You guys,
yeah.
I always look forward to going back watching you guys' broadcast. Y'all do a great job. And
Thank you, sir.
Take that Multi-League Racing Network. Check them out on YouTube. Give them a like, thumbs up, subscribe, and that's it.
Man, I don't even have to do anything more. That's awesome.
I know. We can close up. Let's close the doors. Turn off the lights.
Yep. Mic drop. That's it. All right. Appreciate it, Jeff. And we'll talk to you next week. Congrats, third place here, Indianapolis. Next week at Michigan. Have a safe week.
All right, guys. Thanks.
Later.
All right. There we have it. What do we think about the road course? Pretty clean racing, I think, all in all, and some exciting racing. And the new entry of, I call him new. I know you've raced with him a little bit, Ken, but Johnny Hamby, hats off to him. Putting on a heck of a battle, especially challenging our dominating car this season, Justin Michaels, so far.
Yeah, definitely nice seeing Johnny up there. Like I said, he's out there running the road courses on the Wednesday and Sunday night series, and he's always strong. And I was glad to see him running up front tonight. Very technical track compared to the way it was last year. These guys got through it, like you said. There are not too many incidents. I mean, hats off to these guys that made it through this race pretty cleanly, because I know it took a lot of practice to get these guys up to speed. And good job to all these guys that got around this place tonight.
Yeah, looking at our unofficial results, Justin Michael, of course, taking the trophy down. Johnny Hamby, Jeffrey Mark, Michael Milfeld Jr., Heath Smith rounding out the top 5 in that Multi-League Racing Network. Chris Durham car there. Wesley Holland with some issues early on with not qualifying, then got sideways a little bit. Completed our last car on the lead lap. Rod Mitten, Matt Rodoloso, Charles Widner, and Christopher Davis rounding out the top 10.
Yeah, Christopher Howell kind of came back from some early race struggles, finishing 11th. Jack Watts, 12th. Eric Talent, 13th. Kim Quick, our league administrator out there in 14th. Good run by him. James Hearns, 15th. Greg Mall, 16th. David Schreck, 17th. Scott Greenwood finishes in 18th. Billy Bumgardner, 19th. And James O. Brown in that 20th position.
Cars back here that had some issues. Trent Drum had some couple incidents today. 4 laps down. Vernon Margam, we introduced the Vern Cam. Hopefully you'll check that out. We love doing ideas like that. So if anybody out there watching has any ideas, or if you're going to a race, we can put cameras anywhere you want. So we can put them in your seat for an upcoming race. Kind of a cool little thing to do. You can watch yourself from your seat that you watch the race on Sunday. Robert Mattis rounding up the field here from Hack Racing, Colorado Springs, Colorado, 19 laps down. That completes our field here at Indianapolis.
Well, we're up to Michigan, Scott, and we're kind of looking forward to it. We're going back to the tried and true super speedways, so to speak, and with the next gen cars. So kind of excited to call that race next week.
Absolutely, as I am. We'll talk to you then. We're doing next Monday night, same time, same station, Multi-League Racing Network, 8:30 Eastern Time. Check out all the action. Ken Huber and myself calling the action for you. We'll talk to you then from Michigan. Have a safe week, everybody. Enjoy some highlights from Indianapolis. Thanks for watching.
Good night, everyone.
Don't hold his hand.
Teach a man to fish. Buy a man a fish he eats for a day. Teach a man to fish he fishes for he eats for a lifetime.